one of the greatest miracles of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is that his heart was big enough for everybody. As a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old individual, to be so empathetic, so caring, so merciful, so understanding. Think about how irritable we associate people of that age group with. That they're irritable, they don't want to deal with people, they're impatient, they've lived a long life. And now imagine all of the stories that you're reading about the Prophet ﷺ, all of those stories where there's like a Bedouin man who comes and urinates in the masjid, or there's a person who comes and grabs him by his shirt. It's happening in his 50s, not when he's 20 or 30. We associate that compassion with young age, right? This young person, don't be so hard, don't be so tough. This is an older gentleman. This is an elderly man in his 50s and early 60s who in these moments is saying, what? It's okay. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So part of that love for Allah is that you love those who call themselves believers. It's so easy to hate on people, man. One of the things that when we go for Umrah, we always tell like people in the group especially, we'll say when you see people here, don't see them as, you're not in competition with them and they're not your enemies, but you're all part of the same family because you're going to get pushed around. Have you guys been for Umrah before, anybody? And you get destroyed, right? Like offensive line, defensive line, and then there's you, okay? And the offensive line is a group of Indonesian women and the defensive line is a group of Turkish men. And you're just in between, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana. Like you're just doing whatever you can to stay upright. It's very much a part of our DNA and it's a part of our response to become upset, frustrated, irritated. But you imagine that these people, you're there for Umrah and you're thinking to yourself like, alhamdulillah, I was able to fly here. And you're staying in like one of these hotels that's a little bit close and has decent, accommodations and nice food. And you're talking about being frustrated with people that maybe have been saving up for 10 years. And they didn't come here only on a plane. They had to take buses, trains, a plane. They had to take another bus. They're staying in a hotel that's a mile and a half away. And all of a sudden now you experience this crazy thing called what? Called empathy. And in that empathy, you find the ability to love people. And you say, subhanallah. And instead of you cutting in front of them and rushing, you say what? Bismillah. Bismillah. You don't speak the same language. You have nothing in common besides what? Besides you're here to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Imam Ghazali says in another book that when you do this, when you're able to do this, Allah will place in your life things and moments and barakah and provision that you could not have obtained any other way except by these gestures of love for your brother or your sister. May Allah ta'ala give us this.